So come on in, take a sip. Let's wind down. It is a late evening for me. Boy, what a long day. And I'm telling you, I have been up now for almost 16 hours, a little over 16 hours. And boy, it's just been a day. But it's great to be here. Great to be here with a glass of wine in my hand. I have a grid to jump into and to be solving this with you. My name is Christopher, and I'm delighted that you're here to work with me through this grid today. We're going to go ahead and wind down today with this Tuela Duro. This is a 2021. I've had the 2020. I've had other years. This is the first time I've had a 2021 that I can recall in recent memory. And what I have to say, you can tell. I mean, I just went right to it. I pulled it out of this. It's been sitting there for 4 years, and I just pulled it out of the bottle and put it right through the aerator, which I think really put a nice, pleasant, happy, kind of aromatic vibrance to it on the nose. You get all your cassis here, right, and some dark stone fruit and some red tree fruit. It's there, but it's got this fantastic purple halo. I just love that, right? And super soft tannins. But it's got the slight little acid punch, which is just perfect. It kind of really helps the finish move right along. It's just great. They got decent viscosity and no gas or sediment, but and it's got a slightly paled yet very deep ruby appearance. And so I can make out the keys on my MIDI keyboard here on my piano keys. I can barely make out up towards the top near the halo. I can make out maybe the keys on the Macintosh keyboards. I've got 3 of them sitting in front of me. And they're white, which is nice. I like to have a white background to be able to look at the color and give it some sort of a decent assessment. But it's just a fabulous wine. It really is. And this would really go well with spicy food, I think, right? You know, a slight chill might make it a bit more palatable. And so if I don't finish the entire bottle tonight, and considering the hour, I may not. But tomorrow, it'll be nice coming out of the wine fridge, you know, at that steady 63 degrees Fahrenheit, which will be perfect. I'll take that back. I'm probably going to drink that whole bottle tonight. I'll throw another one in the fridge. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into our grid and see what's got going on. Now, I got to tell you, we've got a lot of Australian community members here with us, and I love that. I always feel like as a Texan, I have a lot in common with Australians, right? You know, we got crazy critters that'll kill you, and so do they. We got big spiders and snakes, and so do they, right? You know, only they get into fist fights with like kangaroos, which is pretty cool. So I've always been kind of fascinated with Australia. I've never been. I want to go so bad. I had an opportunity to transfer my commission to the Australian Army, about 15 years ago, to be a captain in the Australian Army. And I almost did it because I thought, what an adventure that would be. But then I really liked my place in the United States Army, specifically in the cavalry. And so I was quiet at home. This is what it was, right? You know, but I really have a fascination with Australia. And so when I saw this new show come out on AMC Plus, it's called The Newsreader. And I mean, I definitely have to use my VPN to catch it on Amazon. But it's just called The Newsreader. And it's just brand new, really, to me. I mean, it's a brand new show, but I mean, I've been watching it, and I got a new episode tonight I get to watch, but it's fabulous. It's about these they're these tweeners between the baby boom and Generation X, and they're like newscasters, right? You got a reporter, you got a producer, and you got an anchor, and you got an old crusty anchor, and it was just fabulous. But the actors are incredible, and they remind me of the young newscasters that I looked up to because I was one of those kids that loved the news. I know, dork, I get it. But I love the news from the age of 7 on. I mean, I listened to Larry King, news radio all night while I slept. I mean, I'm always into these things right at night. But I remember the young journalists, right, that always impressed me when I was, a kid growing up as Gen X, Cold War, latchkey, X-Gen kid, just coming up through the 80s, late 70s and the 80s and whatnot. And so they remind me very much of like a young Joe Scarborough or people like that. And it's really great to see them in their youth and to hear the music. And I love the Australian new wave music, even moving up and into the more of that pre-grunge stuff that you get from Midnight Oil, whatnot. But I mean, I always loved Men at Work. And you can kind of hear this music in there. And they're just trying to get the story and build their careers. And it's just a fabulous show. And it's set in Australia. So just great. If you're looking for something to watch and you can get access to it, 2 thumbs up on that one. Okay, so I'm going to very carefully move the mouse over into this grid and then gently move away as if I were never there. Kind of a ninja thing, I think, right? So as an example, LOL or OMG. 12 letters too. Okay. I'm going to need a bit more than that, I think. Engage to marry. 7 letters. Ooh. Betrothed? Maybe? I'm not even sure I spelled that right. I guess I did. Surpass. Okay, maybe this could be an outdo. Now I'm feeling better since I got something that'll work with a cross. Origin or an England cricketer. And I have been studying cricket, by the way, because I know got to learn that. The bowler hurls the ball. And I'm learning. I'm going to get there. No clue just yet. Optical with 6. Visual? The last grid or two, I haven't been hit with any cockasnooks. It's been kind of nice, right? Caribbean berry often ground into a powder. I have no idea. Ask for, no idea. Okay. Like the feet of someone feeling restless, and those could be itchy feet. Or someone with some sort of fungal infection. I don't know. True to life. Okay, but now all of a sudden the LOL or OMG looks like it could be an abbreviation. So, and these are natural things to fall in line if you're doing the New York Times crossword, but when you're doing the Guardian, you do not have all these black X's typically represent a place where you'd have more letters where words are truly crossing into each other, and it's always very helpful when you're doing the New York Times, LA Times, whatever, the New Yorker, etc., so on and so forth. But this is it's just a little bit different, which is what I like about it. I just love it. This is a really one filling the state coffers, I guess, could be a taxpayer. I mean, the United States was founded on not wanting to pay a tea tax or something, right? I mean, it's really okay. Well, I guess we made our point. What's this all about? Caribbean berry often ground into a powder. I think this is allspice, but you know what? I don't think I knew that it was a Caribbean berry. I don't know what I thought it was. Maybe I thought it just came from India like everything delicious. Fantastic. Okay, I got to learn more about Caribbean berries. I'm sure that can't be the only one. As if it's even correct, but I'm thinking that ask for here could be solicit. So that could be helpful. Write badly. Egg white. Oh. Okay, can we get something? Long-billed waiter. Probably a tern or an ibis. The 2 4-letter ones I know. So egg white. Well, it's protein, but 7, that ain't gonna, it would work, but problem with here, if I put in something wrong, I don't. Okay, this we know. I am B. Okay. What's over here? True to life. Oh, okay. We probably should have done this first. Looks like this could be naturalistic. Okay, so write badly. Long-billed waiter. Okay, well, we got that S there, so I feel like this could be an ibis. I have a good friend named Alexandra. Her last name is Ibis. Okay, so I think we got albumin, but it's an egg white specifically, so we're not talking about just the proteins. We're talking about egg white. So I think that's ALBUMEN. Watch me be completely backwards on that. And I won't know because it's right there. But we'll find out at the end, won't we? We sure will. Did you feel it? I felt it. Yeah, of course we did. Yeah. Make a sibilant sound. And these are always the clues that make, linguists like me excited. You know, we love hearing about things that are glottal or palative or, just anything. I mean, we just love this stuff. So. Resourceful. No idea. Okay. The cultivation of plants. Stepped could be trod. This looks more and more like horticulture. Group as an example of soldiers or students and would be a cohort. I know something about that. Opening in a floor kind of spider. Is it a trapdoor? Is there a trapdoor spider? I don't know. Possessor of a non-hereditary title, and that's 4 and 4. That I know. That is a life peer. Yeah, I think this is horticulture, but the reason that I wouldn't just throw that in automatically is because I'm not used to having even part of a root word in the clue and the answer, so I'm just, that's not the rules that I'm used to, but these are just a different grid and different rules, and I'm just trying to get used to it. So I think this is horticulture. Something I've always been fascinated with, but never can seem to get. I don't have a green thumb. Mythical equine, 7 letters with a U. So if we're correct, maybe a unicorn? I wonder if that thing's got a scientific name. I mean, it'd be kind of funny if it did, even though we have no evidence that they ever existed, or maybe we do, and I haven't heard of that. I don't know. I should probably look that up. Behave amorously, and that would be to flirt, I think. Resourceful. Could be enterprising. I'm always trying to make sure I'm not missing something like how you would spell it in England or the UK. Right, badly. Oh, okay. A scroll. I'm guilty of that. But I was born a lefty, and because of superstitions and I was discouraged and forced to write with my right, and now I can't write well with either, so I should have gone to medical school. That's how good my handwriting is. Note currently featuring Jane Austen. Yes, as a matter of fact, I have a tenor with her at the Queen up front and Jane Austen on the back, and it is framed and it is in my living room over the bar. And I always think to myself, well, I mean, 10 pounds sterling, that's roughly equivalent to about 2.3 million US dollars, right? So if I really need the money, I can just go cash in that tenor, right? Yeah, I think we got a trap door here. Now I'm starting to feel pretty confident, or not confident. I'm feeling hopeful that I didn't fat finger something. But I gotta tell you, I'm loving this. Make a sibilant sound, right? It's just, and what I love about sibilant is almost onomatopoeic, right? Sibilant. It's just so, it's wonderful. But I guess we better deal with the moment of truth here. So I'm very carefully roll my mouse into here and hit a check all. You might notice I'm slowly going from like a worried look to maybe a little bit happier look, and then I gotta confirm that again and again. I don't think that I missed anything. If I did, please point it out in the notes below. But again, I'm feeling rather chuffed. But I'm only feeling chuffed because these were all words that I was familiar with. If you thrown a cocker-snook in here or anything that fits that metaphor, yeah, I probably would have been doomed. But this is fabulous. What a great grid. I am so proud of this. This is great. It's an achievement for me, but I really feel like I've got the entire community kind of pulling for me here, right? So I appreciate that very much. You all make me feel so welcome and so helped and cared for, and I really do appreciate that more than words could ever express. So thank you all so very much. I really need to start framing these. Out with the old. Well, I'm signed into my account, so I can always go back and look at them and print them out on nice paper and put them in a frame one day, right? So, out with the old, in with the new. And with that said, I just want to thank everybody for just liking and subscribing and hanging out. And I've even got some crossover, some folks that are hanging out with the New York Times that are over here now. I saw that Andy was watching The Guardian, and he's always such a helpful fellow. He's a fantastic young solver. He's been solving for a couple of months, and he's already like just nailing these things out of the ballpark. I mean, he's going to be a future champion, whereas I have not one competitive bone in my body. But it's just so good to see the community coming together, so that maybe we start gathering some of those things that were lost in the pond, right, and so to speak. So with that said, ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, servus, grüß Gott, ciao, Cin-Cin. And always be good to yourselves, right? You got to take care of you, right? You can't take care of everybody else if you ain't taking care of you. And then take care of your friends and your neighbors, right? You know, love your family. And really, really, really take care of the person behind you in the queue. Be well out there, and we will see you on the morrow. Take care.